we're live. It's Whiskey Watches the Wheels, and hi, my name is Matt. I haven't been here in a while. Glad everyone's still here. We're here with George and Casey tonight. Guys, how you been?
Oh, great.
Yeah,
doing great, Matt. Glad to have you back. Dude,
it's been crazy. I mean, for those listening, a little inside baseball, and you probably noticed we were recording every single week. We thoroughly enjoy and love this podcast, yet sometimes work obligations get in the way of things, and so I've taken on some additional responsibilities at work, and so I haven't had really the time nor ability to give this thing what it deserves. So we've kind of decided to spread out the episodes a little bit, or sometimes if the guys are available, they'll hop on and do a podcast. If I'm available, I'll hop on, but it just depends. So we'll work through it until things even back out again
someday.
But you know what? At the end of the day, this podcast does not pay my check.
Yeah, and by dedicated time, you mean actually just showing up to the podcast. Because let's be honest, the amount of show prep that's done is minimal.
True. I mean, but that's my thing is that I don't mind showing up and having willy-nilly stuff, and because like we were just talking about before we hopped on, a lot of times our best episodes come from us just kind of shooting the shit and throwing against the wall and what sticks. But I like to have some sort of prep. I also don't want to show up and then we're all staring at each other like, what are we going to talk about? So I like to have some sort of prep. And then also when we're all done, I mean, just the editing process and getting everything out there. And I'm weird. Once we record, I like to go ahead and get it edited and get it out. I don't like it sitting around for a couple of days. So, because, we talk about stuff and it's real time, and, next thing you know, 10,000 people talked about the same thing and your stuff's obsolete. So I wish
the people that work for me would get their work done in the same quality fashion as that.
Yeah.
They don't.
No, but that's just the way I am. I'm weird that way. So everyone's been doing well though. Everything good?
Still kicking.
Yeah. Me too. Anything new and interesting in your lives? Everything good?
Well, I sold the Cayenne.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
New and interesting as I get dog hair out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it on the street, and last weekend I did Doug DeMuro style or Cars and Bid style pictures where I took, I think, 200 pictures of the thing, just like every nook and cranny, walked around the car, crawled under it, engine bay, covers off, whatever. Wanted to be fully transparent in what it was, which, to be honest, it was a fantastic 320,000 mile Cayenne. There was no rust. There's no rattles. I mean, I drove this thing every day. So very important for me as I start my ownership process of a vehicle is to track all that stuff down. Because when I'm just barreling down the interstate, listening to a book or podcast or whatever, I can't stand rattles and stuff. So the start of my ownership process is figuring all that stuff out. So the thing was dead quiet. Like, it was great. Headed on the street as I was doing all this last, it's been 8 weeks since I bought the car or whatever. And then somebody finally showed up, knocked on the door, offered me some money, and things gone. So
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Did they literally show up and knock on the door because they saw it on the street?
So the guy did see it on the street. He's a landscaper, and text me. So today's equivalent of seeing
I'm a local.
Yeah. Somebody that sees it. Yeah, I hadn't even posted it online yet.
Okay.
That was going to happen this weekend. Again, knowing what you all know about the clicking, that ended up not being a CV, not being the front differential. To the best of my knowledge, changed the oil in that, and it came out beautiful, especially for I think the oil had 100,000 miles on it, and it came out, didn't smell weird. Like, it was great. Anywho, landscaper, he showed up yesterday to officially get it, give me the cash for it, and had amazing grill piece, about 5 gold chains,
nice
ring on every finger, and 3 of his homeboys. And they jumped in it and immediately floored it. And I'm like, oh God, it's been a great car. And I hope that it lasts a week under your ownership.
Man. And so now I think I'm wrong. I was thinking, okay, well, this is the guy's a landscaper, so he's definitely building a overlanding build, but no, maybe not. No,
I think they were going straight for some fun.
Yeah.
Ashley actually saw it as she was coming home the other side of the neighborhood out towards one of the main roads. She's like, it was flying, and she's like, she waved to it. She said, but hopefully it survives, and well, I guess it's out of my hands now. Whatever. He gave me. I took $3,000.
Okay, $3,000. So
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot to be said for this. So let's think about it. If you really have $3,000 to just throw away, and you want to buy that and just go beat the shit out of it and have a good time, I've spent $3,000 on dumber things.
Yeah, it's just funny because like I'm trying to like show him stuff on it.
He could care less.
He could care less.
He
jumped in the driver's seat. He's like, "How do I start this?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Well, first off, the key is over on the other side." You know? And it had entry and drive, right? So the dummy key's in there, and then I was like, should I show him the air suspension and how that works? I have my little log book in there, and I'm like, here's all the stuff that I've done over the years that I've owned it. And he's like, is the oil been changed recently? I was like, oh, you got about 3,000 miles before that. He's like, all right, good. It'll never see another oil change. I mean, what the hell? But again, like you're saying, Matt, $3,000. Does it matter to him? Probably not.
Probably not.
Does it matter to me? No. I mean, I got my money's worth out of that thing. So.
I love it. I love it.
But I was talking to Ashley about it last night, and I was like, this is really stupid, and I'm admitting it's stupid right now, okay? So this is stupid. But I kind of think that my cars have, like, lives, and they're like a person, a people's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I cared for this thing, and it literally took care of me. Like, driving over 200 and some thousand miles under my ownership every day, had to get to work, and it never failed me. And I'm like, oh, I just want to like pet it and be like, oh, you've been a great dog, Yep. And now I guess it's out.
Well, out of the, I'll give credit where credit's due. Out of the 5 of us, I would say that you and George probably wrench the most on your own personal vehicles. And so, when you have a car like that, and George, I have to assume you're the same way. I know Casey is. It's literal blood, sweat, and tears, dude. I've spoken to Casey on the weekend, and he's freaking under that thing, doing stuff and all that. Where I'm not gonna lie, I stroke a check and have someone do it. I'm old and fat. I'm not getting out of that car. But I've made smart decisions in life to where at 50 years old, I can just pay someone to do shit for me. So that's just the way it is. And not that I don't love doing stuff myself. I do. I'm just not. I'm not going to do that. So it's personal at that point.
Yeah.
Talking about your cars, Casey. So give me a little more breakdown on the Panamera and this like issue you're having with the camera or whatever.
So
because you've alluded in the group text, and I got it, but I haven't really got it. So I want to understand what's going on.
So the Panamera has the option night vision camera. Thermal. It's a thermal camera, and it's in the front opening of the grill. It's on the lowest rung, like it's right off the ground. Okay. And it's just thermal imaging, and it'll pick up animals, pedestrians. You can flip it to the screen and it shows you. It's really, it does a good job. You can see like cars plain as day, especially at night where there's more temperature differentiation. But you can see, the bottom of the tire is hot. You can see the exhaust coming out. Like it's kind of cool. Anyhow, it's about 1.5 inch diameter glass camera at the bottom of the bumper. So you can imagine what that gets hit by. So it's picked up a chip, or it picked up a rock at some point. When I purchased it, that chip was there, or the crack in the glass was there. I didn't think anything of it, except that, this car's CPO'd. I'll have that fixed, no problem. Well, of course, I didn't take a picture. The dealer's not going to like back me. So when I took it to my dealer to get an oil leak fixed, I was like, hey, see about getting this replaced. I don't want the crack, whatever, because it started to act flaky. Obviously, the glass is cracked, so moisture gets in. Started flaking out. And so I'm like, replace it, fix it. This is what I paid all that CPO money for. Well, of course, they come back. They're like, oh, no, that's a road hazard. We don't cover road hazards. And I'm like, of course, this would go
assholes
that way, right? And it's like a $5,600 part. So he gave me an estimate. And it was like $7,700 or something to replace. And I'm like, no way in hell is that going to happen. Thermal cameras cannot see through glass because that sensor, it just gets the reflections and it looks like fog. So you can't, so it's not just glass. So I've been researching. Of course, I'm not the first one to own this car or have this problem. Lots of other owners have this, and it is a disc of geranium. It's some weird composite glass stuff. It's got a DLC coating, diamond-like coating on one side, and an AR coating, I don't know what that stands for, on one side. Anyhow, you cannot just replace the glass from Porsche or Audi. There's been Fleer was the original manufacturer. They, for some period of time, produced replacement lens kits. It's basically the camera, the housing, and then a screw-on, basically cap with the glass in it. I'm calling it glass, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, there's still some manufacturers of this glass out there. Obviously, thermal imaging is popular, but it's finding the correct diameter and thickness, which is 33 millimeter diameter, 4 millimeter thickness. And so I've been scouring the interwebs. There's some Takan guys that have done this. There's on the forums, there's some companies that they've reached out to. I've not been successful in getting anyone to respond back to me. There is a site that sells this disc for like $1,000. So that's at the very least an option. But one guy posted his email back and forth to an Indian company, Shalom EO, I believe it is, or Shalom Me. Anyway, Shalom something. That their price per disc was $150 if you bought just a single disc. You could buy them in bulk for substantially cheaper. So anywho, so I'm trying to figure this out. I'm sure there other people have figured this out, or maybe, they just have the dealer coded out of
dude.
the dash.
I'm looking right now on lot. You're not joking, dude. It's crazy. There's not a whole lot.
It's especially
road hazard damage. I wonder if you could go your auto insurance route.
Correct. That's what the dealers told me to do. Now, having recently, a year ago, replaced a windshield and taken the insurance on that, $0 deductible, whatever, my insurance jumped like $20 a month.
Yeah.
And that was for a $2,000, windscreen. So asking the insurance to cover a $7,500 camera, I don't want to do it. I think there's another way we can figure this out. Worst case, I will pull this glass out and I will try to, I don't know, epoxy is not the right thing, but I'll try some sort of material to just bring these pieces together to make it, closer to watertight than it is. Right now, I have just a piece of black tape over it so that water is not actively hitting the glass to get in. But it's electronics, right? So as long as it stays dry, it's going to be fine. I just need to find out either I can glue, use the term loosely, these two parts together, or replace it. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I was seeing if there's any way even to get different, just straight geranium lenses.
There's lots of options in 40 millimeters,
right?
Or different sizes. I have no idea what this material feels like. I don't know if it's something like true glass or if it's like a poly that you could take against sandpaper and, or take a burr to it and shape it. I don't know.
I mean, I know in camera lenses you can do that on the glass, but I don't know about geranium. So it's interesting. I was just curious. So big news for me, not really big news. I already told you guys whatever, but it's been a good run. After 5 years, the wrap's finally coming off the 911.
It's good.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, everybody knows me and knows my car because of the wrap, and so it's gonna be. I'm gonna show up just totally incognito when I roll up in a slate gray metallic 911. No one's gonna know who the hell it is. So it'll be interesting. So I talked to my buddy Nate, the guy that put the wrap on to begin with. He had I told him I went in a hurry, but he had an opening in his schedule on the 20th. So I'm going to drop off on the 20th, take a couple days. It took him a week to put it on, only take a couple days to take it off. Headlights out, bumpers off and stuff like that, but pretty straightforward. So yeah, it's coming off, man. Then
I think it'll be good for you.
It will. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it will look like a new car. I'm going to have, the paint was in great shape when I put it on. I'm a little apprehensive only because, I may have told you guys but I never said it on the podcast. When I bought that car, I knew from the Carfax that there had been a very minor, kind of bumper damage or whatever done to the right rear of the car. Nothing structural, just something minor. So I knew there's been some paint repair and all that, whatever. Everything looked fine, no issues. When I bought the car, it still had on it the factory from 2007 had the factory rock protectors, the clear ones on the fenders, and of course they're all hazy and cracked and all that. So I had a guy come out and steam them off to replace them. Well, he came into my work and he was doing it. Super nice guy, and he called me and he goes, "Hey, can you come out and take a look at your car?" I said, "Sure." So I go out there. He had them off, and he goes, "Listen, at some point in time, this car had some damage repaired on the right rear." I said, I'm aware of that. And he says, "Well, whoever did it didn't know what the hell, they screwed the people over. And when they did the clear, they never removed paint protectors when they did the clear. So when he took them off, it's small, but there is a line in the clear at the top, the exact shape of those protectors." And so he goes, "We can do two things. I can stop here. You can go to like I don't think I need to go to a full paint and body guy. I think probably a detailer can sand it out because it's just in the clear." He says, "And have them sand it flat." He goes, "Or the new protectors are larger, so I can put it on and then just trim it to where the line is, and you'll never know because it's thicker." And I said, "Just do that for now," and it worked great. And of course, when we wrapped it, Nate just wrapped right over those. Mm-hmm. So I know that when the wrap comes off, they're going to come off, and then I'll have that line in the clear. So I'm going to go have a detail done and have paint correction done. And so I'm hoping that the guy will be able to get it out when he gets the paint. When he gets paint correction. But other than that, I'm just hoping. I know the factory paint I'm not worried about, and wraps have less adhesion than PPF. So I don't think I'm going to have, Nate said not to worry about it. I don't think I'm going to have any paint issues, but I just hope whoever did the repair on the right rear actually used quality stuff, and I don't have, clear coat peeling or whatever like that when he takes it off. And, if I do, fuck it, whatever. I'll just have to get it repaired. I'm not stressing over it too much. But yeah, so that's coming off on the 20th. So we'll see how it looks.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man, good stuff.
When it happens.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah. What watches are y'all wearing tonight? Anything special?
I got one of my Seiko 5s, the Rally one. I think I showed this when we talked about like value watches, maybe under 500.
Yep. I know it well. I have the same one.
So I got this fun, like the Martini Racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of colors for, yeah.
Casey, what you got?
So, yeah.
Very cool. I love that watch.
I think this one is SKX 0033.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Pepsi. What is it? It's probably 36 something. I don't know.
That's your Australian one.
Yeah, Australian, Malaysia model. But I enjoy wearing it just because I think it's a 97 or 98.
Help me understand Australian, Malaysian. Like, how can it be both?
So, I mean that I purchased it out of Australia.
Okay.
On the interwebs. And it is a Malaysian model because it just says, what's it say at the bottom, Matt?
I forget the exact terminology, but it doesn't say made in Japan. It's a K model instead of being a J model. So it's the same model that I have on my 007. Yeah. Excuse me, my 009. So,
but no other difference, George. Mm-hmm. But just have a Amazon NATO band on, which is comfy and light. But where I was going with that is it's newest one I have, Seiko wise, I think. But the loom still works pretty damn well. So
what I love about that watch more than anything, I love the patina on the bezel and how the red is not really bright red anymore. It's more of it's all faded out.
It's a definite pink.
Yeah. I dig it.
From
I like
the sun exposure or from
Mhm.
like rubbing up against like your shirt or
Not,
jacket?
no, it's not rubbing. I think it's just the time and sun exposure. Yeah.
I have this picture in my head that some native aborigine owned that, and he was going across the outback to Ayers Rock every single day, and then got beaten by the sun.
I hope so.
I'm sure that didn't happen, but that's what's in my brain. So
Not a chance.
no, of course not. I am wearing tonight one of the nuances I built. This is my bronze case.
Nice.
One. I love this watch.
Is it getting any patina yet?
It is. Actually, it is. It's not. I noticed it today when I was wearing it that it's definitely darkening some and getting some of that patina look on it. So it's kind of cool.
Good. I like that.
Yep. And the leather band is wearing in really. I love this leather band because it has the butterfly clasp on it, and the leather is really starting to get beaten up and start wearing in. So changing with all the oils.
I feel like I don't know, maybe sweat too much for leather bands.
I can see that.
Kind of cracking and things like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I do as well, but I don't really care. You know what? It is what it is. This is really one of the only ones I have with a leather band. Most of the others are either a native strap or a poly strap. But I'm going to start. I've already said this, but I'm going to do it slowly. I'm going to start taking photos because I want to do it right. I'm going to pick a watch. Like I think I'll probably do my green Hulk, my JDM first. Take some detailed photos and then just toss them up on Instagram for sale and just start thinning the herd. It's time. I just have so many. I just never wear them all and they're just collecting dust. Let someone else enjoy them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I'm not going to do a mass exodus, but just one at a time. And as they sell, I'll just move on.
We'll just call you James.
You're just going to put it,
I'll probably...
Which Instagram...
I may even put it on Whiskey Watches and Wheels and Thornhill. I may do both. My personal Instagram doesn't have really enough followers to wheel about it, but I think we have about 1,600 on Whiskey Watches and Wheels, and I got another 2,600 or so on Thornhill. So
if you guys don't mind, I wouldn't mind throwing up a few of my watches up there.
No, I don't mind at all. No, just send me all the information. We can put it on. No problem. I'll even give you the password and log in for Whiskey Watches and Wheels, and you can put them up yourself. Doesn't matter.
I take a 10% cut of the commission, just FYI.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not nervous, but I'm never worried about losing my money. But when you do stuff on like Instagram like that, I'm like, all right, so I got to send it. Hopefully, I'm not going to send it in advance, but they have to understand they need to send me money first, and then I got to send it off. And at least when you're going through someone like eBay or whatever, that eBay holds the funds, so you're going to get your money. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work well, then I may just have to resort to eBay, but I'll try not to. So
It'll be fine.
You're talking about. I don't know what watches you're doing, but you're talking probably hundreds, right? Not like
the JDM Hulk is pretty rare. It'll probably be. I got to see what the current value is. I think I paid $550 or $600 for it, and that was 6 or 7 years ago. So it may be. I don't know if it's devalued or went up in value. So I'll just check.
If I were a buyer, right? I think just like going through, like seeing that, hey, like you make your own watches. You're on this podcast. To me, that's enough credibility where I'm willing to pay for it, right? And
I'm not worried. I definitely know that I'm trustworthy. I ship stuff all the time. I actually just built 3 watches over the last weekend and shipped them out for a guy. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about making sure that the funds come through. So, but yeah.
For some reason, you can do it any other way.
Exactly. Are y'all? Well, I'm drinking a Diet Mountain Dew. So what are y'all drinking tonight?
I'm trying to find something unique I haven't brought here before. So Casey's gonna love this one because it's one of those distilled in Indiana bottles. But Dose of Magnus, So tried to pick something I haven't brought on here before. So I don't know. Anyway, right?
Is it typical MGP flavor profile, or is it different?
I don't have their stuff, I guess, often enough to like pick it out, right? Okay. If you just did blind tasting, I couldn't say which ones and identify it. So I'm not good there. But I don't know. I brought a little bit of research. I've only had this one bottle, right? So like you said, right? Whiskey sourced from MGP. It is about 104 proof. So this is actually a private barrel pick from OHLQ, right, which is the Ohio Liquor
Okay.
Association. So yeah, 104 proof, private barrel. It's around 9 years old age, right? It's not stated on the bottle, right? But that's what it's around what it's supposed to be. Yeah,
And
those are
it's
kind of
good.
the specs. Yeah, it's good enough to drink, right? Yeah,
That's all that matters.
that's right.
Yeah.
I was enjoying, it's gone now, but an old fashioned Turkey 101 old fashioned. But I was texting you all. I was in Austin 2 weeks ago now, and I went to Still Austin. Nice distillery. Had never had their bourbon. Did a nice flight. Enjoyed it. I think their off the shelf standard rye offering is exceptional. I really, really liked it. But while I was there at the distillery, had a cocktail, old fashioned, but they used Turkish tobacco bitters.
Interesting.
And I was like, I've never had this before. So I asked her, I went in for a second one. I asked her to load up the bitters because I really wanted to taste it, having never had it before, except the first old fashioned, but whatever.
Like,
So
sprinkle that in a little bit.
yeah, I didn't want to actually
Can I get
drink
a
it
shot
out of the
glass?
bottle, but like I wanted to
Really taste this without being weird.
yeah. So I was like, please load this up with bitters. And she did, and it's really a nice bitter. So I immediately Amazoned it and had it waited on me when we got home. But it's the same brand. It's like Fine Brothers or something. It's on Amazon, but same as I have like my chocolate bitters and walnut bitters. But it's slightly different profile from those things. Like to me, there's still like a little chocolatey, oaky like stuff in there. But it's good. So it just adds a slightly
that's what I was going to
little...
ask. Okay, chocolate I get. Tobacco. I mean, does it taste like you're chewing on a cigar? I don't know.
So tobacco is often cited as a flavor in some of these older bourbons.
Okay.
I've never been a smoker or a tobacco chewer. I know what tobacco smells like growing up in Kentucky when there used to be tobacco everywhere, but you can smell tobacco, right? Or a cigar. That's a pure tobacco smell, right? And so how do the protesters interpret that smell into a flavor? I don't really know because I don't get that. But when you stick your nose in it, you kind of get some of those hints of, to me, some of that cigar tobacco of just like leaf, dried tobacco. And it's when it's in a drink, especially when it's bourbon and it's got those sugars and the oak kind of all coming together, it just makes for a very warm, like comforting beverage. I don't know if there's a better way for me to describe it, but it's such a welcoming like hug of a drink.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So it's good. And they're like $10, so fuck it, throw it in.
Well, tobacco, I kind of think I almost translate that into almost like a leather.
Yeah, like, and that's often paired with the tobacco flavor profile is old leather or a leather sofa or something like that. So yeah, I think that goes hand in hand.
I'm so weird. Everyone knows I'm weird, but like I'm not. Cigars don't necessarily bother me, but they kind of do. The smell. Yet, like my grandfather smoked a pipe, and like pipe tobacco smells great. I can't imagine. I've never smoked a day in my life. I can't imagine smoking a pipe, but it smells good. But like a lot of cigars, dude, I'm like, what the hell? It just stink to me.
Cigars have a huge range.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm certainly not a cigar aficionado by any stretch. But on occasion,
like one every 2 years. That's about where I'm at. Yeah.
But short story. I was once a part of. I joined like a catalog cigar club, whatever.
Okay.
And these motherfuckers sent me so many fucking cigars. I got a humidor. Then all of a sudden the humidor's full. I have to get
Oh,
like
God.
baggies and put moisture packets in it. Like they just and I called them to cancel. I'm like, guys, you all send me way too many of these things. I can't, like, I'm one a week at that time. Like this is way too much for me. And they got angry when I wanted to cancel. But I'm like, I have 40 fucking cigars in here. This will last me a lifetime.
Friggin' the Columbia House of Cigars he joined
Yes,
over there.
it's basically what it was.
Yeah.
So those are all long gone. But like George is saying, I don't have enough to know them in depth.
Mhm.
But there is a wide range. And I will say that smelling a fresh cigar is fantastic. It's such a cool, distinct smell. And like many of the other things that we enjoy, the handcrafted precision of making a cigar is really cool. And it's kind of like those old skills that are going away and kind of reminiscent.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
And it's really fun to watch. You see people hand rolling cigars. It's such an art. It's really cool. I love the idea. All right. I love the idea of like smoking a cigar and drinking a bourbon and all that. But I'm just too much of a nerd, man. I'm not that cool. I'm just not. I'm not.
Say smoking a cigar can be an art as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like how you smoke it also.
I'm the biggest nerd in the world, man. I'm just not that cool. I'll never be that cool. So,
it brought me back a story. I'll tell you guys offline. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Oh, it's okay. Embarrass yourself, man. You know how many times I embarrass myself? George, you were a listener long before you were a member. I tell embarrassing stories all the time. I don't care.
I'm not ready to tell this story.
It's all good. I'm an open book, man. I have no secrets. So we have a whole laundry list of things we're going to talk about tonight. And I want to segue because the one I think I want to bring up first is one we didn't even talk about. So Casey, you threw up, since we're talking about bourbon, you threw up about another company or two halting all of their production for 2026. This is not a new story as far as, or the first company we heard this. We heard it earlier this year with, was it Jim Beam or someone?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. So what's going on in the industry? I mean, is it
as one of our favorites, MGP, is feeling the bourbon pullback. So they are halting Lux Row, which is in Bardstown, right across the street from Heaven Hill. And who else was it? Limestone, which I forget where they are. I keep wanting to say they're in Lexington, but that's not true. It says in Lebanon. I haven't been to
Lebanon, Tennessee.
No, Lebanon, Kentucky.
Okay,
it's actually Lebanon, Kentucky. But anyway. Okay. Anyhow, so it's just two of their kind of like ancillary distilleries, Lux Row, which sourced a lot of bourbon originally from Heaven Hill, and then MGP bought them. They do good stuff. I've got a couple of their bottles, Lux Row stuff. They're double barrel stuff. They do the Blood Oath line of products, which is super, super popular. But they're shutting them down. They said that they've had a 25% reduction in sales, which is wild. Like that's huge. And you got to expect to see other distilleries, other large distilleries probably doing the same thing. If on one side of the equation, like I see, if you've seen as a business 25% reduction, you got to be like, whoa, we got to lay off some people here. We see that all the time. The other side of the equation is kind of the conspiracy theorist in me a bit. And are other companies finally picking up what Buffalo Trace has been putting down for a decade of really, really managing the amount of product that they put out? You know, everybody believes that Buffalo Trace has this like scarcity when they don't produce at capacity, right? Like we know that. Is MGP, being a public company, trying to do the same and create some additional hype and scarcity mentality? I don't know. We do know the market is slowing down. We do know that Gen Z doesn't buy alcohol, let alone bourbon. So it's probably maybe a little bit of both, but it's bad news for the industry, overall. And I'm hoping that we see some more aged product out in the market in the next several years as the stuff sits and they got to get rid of stuff. And I'm hoping that 15-year stuff, 12-year, 13-year stuff really starts to hit the shelf. Maybe Elijah Craig gets its age statement back. Maybe they put out an age-stated Buffalo Trace. Maybe some of these more common products start getting age-stated to try to differentiate and steal market share. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I think, right? So, yeah.
So maybe they're learning.
The reason
go
why,
ahead, George.
Yeah, kind of like to maybe build or, I don't know, maybe counter that theory that Casey threw up is because I wonder, like, MGP, right? Like, how much of their product or revenue is at, I'll say, from the distillery, from the white dog level versus the finished aged level, right? Because we know, right, they distribute out to a lot of other, right, brands and companies, and they feed those, and I feel like that's the majority of their revenue. So
contract distilling. I mean,
yeah,
that is MGP, correct?
right,
Yes,
right. So like, you would think they would be wanting to be full capacity, right, and just feeding, right, because they don't really see the benefits of kind of that name brand or the limiting at the end of things.
Right, because that's their MGP shelf brand is Ross and Squibb, right? So that's MGP house bourbon that they put directly on the shelf. That's not contracted out. That's their house thing. Then you have their contracts like Penelope. What's the wagon?
There's so many now.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've talked about those in depth, right? So, but if those individual distilleries, NDPs, non-distilling producers, if they're not ordering more or asking for distillate, and so now you've got your rick houses full of barrels, I mean, where are you going to put it? Like, you can't build a rick house overnight, and certainly the cost in forms of taxes and permitting and stuff to build an additional rick house is astronomical, right? Because they pay taxes on every barrel every single year. So you're asking them to keep producing at capacity while building another rick house, paying taxes for at least 4 years on that stuff. So I think necessarily they will slow down more than the overall market ends up slowing down.
Well, I think they're just trying to match demand, right? So they're 100%. Just trying to forecast what demand is, right? Like most industries are doing. Whereas they're not making like a marketing maybe decision. Play like, right, like Buffalo Trace.
Yeah. I'm just trying to throw it out there that maybe MGP's not
an interesting thought, right? I don't know, because I think the bulk of their business is on that contracting side. 100%. Don't think that's the case.
100%. And that's like, if Bardstown was a public brand, would we be hearing the same things about Bardstown? Because their main business is contract as well. And they do have their house brand, obviously. But would we see a similar, we don't know because it's privately held, but like, they may be doing that same thing right across the street. So,
well, everyone in that boardroom has a Rolex on their wrist, and they thought, you know what? Maybe we do that. If we have 10,000 buyers, we're only going to bottle 9,990 bottles. And then there'll be a free-for-all for the 10 don't get it.
Listen, I don't know. Buffalo Trace has it figured out as far as I'm concerned in the bourbon kind of industry. I think they understand scarcity of the bottle in some of the best of any product I've ever seen, not just bourbon. And, I think, I don't know. I think they've got that figured out. I think people are trying to still catch up.
They were also increasing capacity significantly.
Like by 3 times.
I think this downturn has caught them off, right? Surprised. So it'll be interesting to see, like, over the next few years how things work out.
As the non-bourbon drinker, but I'm always, aware of what's going on. And I'll never forget, it's been years ago. I was listening to the Smoking Tire, and Johnny's on there, and they always drink bourbon when he's on there. And he brought in this bottle of Buffalo Trace. and he was showing how cheap it is. Man, this is such a great drink, and it's so cheap, and then you fast forward from probably 6-7 years ago to where they are today, and it's like insane. So,
and here's a gripe, George. I'm sure. Do you listen to Smoking Tire?
Yep.
All right. So they just went on their fucking boat trip, sailing trip, and they talk in the opening thing just the other day about a bottle of rum they're drinking.
I was listening to that.
Yeah, and they're talking, this is $60 bottle of rum, and it's worth it. It drinks better than a $300 bottle of bourbon. I get so frustrated, and this is stupid, admittedly, but it's like 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm listening to this shit. It's like they know next to dick about bourbon.
Yeah,
and they have a massive audience, and they're disseminating, gibberish.
Well, but okay, I'm not defending them, but if they're good to their palate, if it tastes as good to them as a friggin' $300 bottle of bourbon, then it's a value.
Well, it's
the overall experience of being on a boat on vacation in paradise.
Exactly right.
That's the context that the listener has to take into account.
Yeah, that's right. But they, I wish that someone would go on there, and 99% of people don't understand like what it takes to make a bourbon, whereas they drink these rums and they're like, it's so sweet. Well, no fucking shit, it's sweet.
Full of sugar.
Sugar cane, number one. And you don't know, because there's no laws as to what can be added to a rum, that it could be packed with other flavors. You don't know that.
But they made a really good point, right? Because they also brought in kind of like a comparison with tequilas. And most people, right, when you say a rum or tequila, you think of the cheap stuff, right, that you buy for the parties. And that's everyone's first impression of rums and tequilas. But when you go deep into it, right, there are good stuff, right, that you can sip on and that you can, learn about and appreciate, right, that value, right? And so it's similar in the bourbon in that way, right, where there are quality offerings.
And I do appreciate that they do go down that route of saying, hey, this aged product is really good. Yeah. And I've done a big rum tasting, and you know what? Some of those 15-year rums are delicious. And they do hit a lot of those bourbon notes. There's a lot of similarities after it's been sitting in an oak barrel for so long. Same with the tequilas, right? Tequila, for me, for 2 decades was, rock gut, only taking shooters. And now I've got 10 tequilas over here that I'll just sip on, just like I do bourbon, right? Yeah. Because it's good quality stuff.
Good stuff.
So I agree, George, that they do hit on that and whatever. I just wish that they would trumpet bourbon, because it's such an American pure product. Yeah. And I think that should be celebrated. That's all.
So here's something funny. As you all know, I can't drink bourbon. I mean, I can drink it, but I make it a godly fist when I do. But I can drink tequila. Tequila, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Matt. I
can't explain it, dude. I can shoot tequila, although I prefer it in a drink. But I mean, I can drink tequila, no problem. And if I was to mix bourbon, I'd probably be okay. But just drinking it straight, I just haven't never developed that palate. I guess
I started with the bourbon mixing, right?
Yeah,
and then went into old fashions, right? And then you just progress.
Dude, when I was a younger man, I used to drink Southern Comfort and orange juice, man. I mean, well, we were young and broken. That's just what you did in the woods.
Yeah, SoCo. I can't even say those words without with a straight face.
Yep.
But I just want to harp on good tequila. I mean, there is so much good tequila out there that people aren't normal people aren't aware of. I mean, you guys know I'm half Mexican, right? So I grew up around good tequila. And it's out there, and it's a big difference.
We have a really hard time getting that stuff here in Virginia, George. We get, Tequila Ocho. We get Luna. And that's about it of the good stuff. The non-additive, we don't have any Don Fluano. We have Dos Hermanas, which is the same distiller as Tequila Ocho. But we don't have any of the kind of like I said, non-additive, just pure blue agave spirit here. It's all the, generic, what's his name?
Companies that have gotten in trouble for the additive, right? Not calling it out.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I like that
Don
too.
Julio.
Yeah. They need to get their shit together and be held accountable.
I was actually watching an interview last night. Steve-O from the old Jackass he actually has a pretty decent podcast, and but he had Sammy Hagar on last night, and of course Sammy used to have the Cabo Wabo tequila brand, and he sold it, and dude, he made so much money off that brand. It's not funny what they paid him for it, and he said he screwed himself because they paid him I think he got 80% up front. Or they bought 80% of the company. He kept 20%, but had to sell it within 7 years. Well, he thought he was going to get even more because they were going to get all this stuff in it and everything. Well, he said that when he owned the brand, it was literally him, and he had 4 sales guys, and that's it. He had no overhead. So he sold it for, I forget the number, I think it was $80 million is what he made up front. And then he thought he was going to get all this money 7 years later on the 20%. But it was a business at that point. So they had freaking 400 salespeople. They had all this other stuff and everything like that. So he said he only made a fraction on 20%. He said he should have just paid the whole thing up front to have all 100%. But he still made so much money. It's not funny.
Good for him.
Yeah, no joke. All right. So next, one thing I wanted to talk about, because this really hits home for all of us. There was an article that Casey tossed up, and it's basically talking about, it's a Road and Track article, and it was all about how car companies are abandoning the everyday enthusiast, and how all the premium sports cars just keep moving up market and up market and up market, and all of the car manufacturers, can't blame them, they're here to make money, and they keep abandoning entry-level sports cars, and there's just less and less of them out there. And I gotta agree with the argument. I mean, they just keep going away.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I'm a smoking tire fan, and they've been harping on this for a while. So I wanted to find an article that we could reference other than just Matt Farah's opinion.
Yeah.
But this kind of puts more fact behind it, and I too totally agree. You've got tons of these boutique automakers that are producing, tens of cars for these super wealthy guys, while the middle America can no longer A, afford a decent vehicle, and B, let alone a secondary kind of fun sports car. You've got a BRZ, you've got a Miata, and then what? Super, the Supra is still what, an $80,000, $60,000 car, $80,000 car.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Elantra N, or the Hyundai Elantra N. You got Civic Si, because even the Civic Type R is pushing up there in price. Acura Type S, but I mean, there's just not a lot out there. There's not. I mean, there's just,
you've got very few choices.
Hit over 50,
right?
Like that. Right, yeah. That's another 6 above the Type R.
Yeah, you almost got to go with the Civic Si, and Acura doesn't make an SI version. So, yeah, I mean, that's Hyundai, and that's about it. There's just not a lot out there.
You've got the hot hatch GTIs, which I don't.
GTI. Yeah, I was going to throw that out there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You can do GTI because Golf R, even the GTI is in the upper 40s now.
40 now. No, it's mid 30s. It's mid 30s.
The GTI, okay. Because the Golf R is 45, I think. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's basically saying the stratification of income in cars is becoming more pronounced now than ever. And again, I agree with his argument and the sentiment that these car companies have seen. You can create one vehicle and sell 100 of them and make $4, $5, $6, $7 million a vehicle, or you can make a $50,000 car for the masses and only make 5,000 and have to deal with that $50,000 car buyer, which is extremely different than your $4 million car buyer in what their demands and their not their demands, the problems that they bring back.
Right.
And dealing with them on the day-to-day at the dealer level.
So,
I mean, I get it. I understand the car company's perspective. It's just frustrating for those of us on this end of the socioeconomic scale.
Yeah.
That, I feel like we've all reached kind of that level of sports car. Like, we're not wealthy, but like we've got a little bit of extra money to play with. The next level maybe is GT3s, but even at the GT3 level, what else is there? There's 10-year-old Ferraris, and there's GT3, and then past that, the turbo is now $230,000 new.
Yeah.
And in that range, you're looking at Ferrari, you're looking at the new Aston Martin DB whatever. What the fuck else is there?
No, I mean,
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, for us, you really have to go like we all have and kind of go used and, get a mid 2000s to late 2000, 2010, 2012 or whatever, either 911 of whatever flavor you can afford, or you can still pick up an Aston DB9 or Vantage for,
Most people aren't that
45.
brave though. Everyone's
You're right.
worried about
That's the point. A lot of people understand that, well, let's use my car as a case model. All right. Base 911. Okay. I paid $38,000 for it. All right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to repairs, it's still a $100,000 car and the repairs are according. So a lot of people might be able to afford the $38,000
entry price,
but they cannot afford the repairs. I'm fortunate enough that I can, but I couldn't go out and drop, $140,000 on a base 911 today. There's no way. No.
I totally agree. And, I feel like I've been transparent on here as well, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
where, I could afford, my car was, what did I pay? $44,000 when I purchased it. I do all the work.
Correct. Yeah.
God forbid if I had to take it in for whatever, I can't afford that. I won't afford that. And so the only reason I can buy that vehicle is because I'm out in the garage wrenching. And, back to the point of what our other car options are, we purchased them, when they were quote unquote cheap, especially 997 model, 996, George, like we purchased them cheap. During COVID,
still cheap.
Relative, yes.
It's going up though.
During COVID, I had the opportunity to buy a 360, which I didn't because I was weak-minded. I should not have been. But there was one that went for $45,000 manual, and that's now $100,000 car again. So
that's a great buy.
We're still, there's if you're looking in the early 2000s cars, you can still find vehicles. And again, we're talking $100,000 is a fuck ton of money. But there's still something that you can stretch, you can dream, aspire to get that's still somewhat reasonable. And I'm using very loose air quotes. But again, past that mark, where do normal people go to have car interest and car fun? We didn't name American cars. There's still like a Mustang out there, right? There's still that sort of car culture. There's still
you at the 5.0, great car.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not, listen, I'm not going to name names. There's certain guys on our podcast that are not Corvette lovers. And although I'm not a Corvette lover, I am a Corvette, I can appreciate the niche that it serves.
Product.
Do 70% of Corvette owners drive them like they deserve to be driven? Absolutely not. But they are very capable cars. And so you can go out and get any flavor of used Corvette for, 18 to 20 grand. And it's a rattle box and it's plastic but you know what? It's going to be a good time. So that's really at the end of the day all that matters.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a great track car if you want to go track. I mean, you can go out and still get a C5 Z06, which is a raw driving experience. But at the end of the day, you can shift your own gears, and it's you can get them for 20 grand or less.
I still think the C6, C7 look good on the exterior. Yeah. I know the inside's dog shit. I get it, and we've always complained about that. But thinking long term. If you're high school kid aspiring, I chased Miatas. I know that was weird, but I loved Porsches. I eventually wanted to work up to that. But what vehicles how is a young person going to even get into cars when the only thing they're aspiring towards is a Zinger or a Koenigsegg?
Exactly.
Like that is, I'm sorry, but that's unobtainium forever, right? Like what cars are they looking at going down the road and saying, man, 5 years, I can save up to get that Nissan 300ZX, right? Or that, whatever cars that
that one right there.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's what I wanted. That's what I chased
Mine
after.
was an Audi B5 S4.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
what I really wanted. Yeah, and I got it right. But that was
Mhm.
like when that came out brand new. I'm like, that car right there. Like
Yeah.
when I get my engineering job, I'm going after that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they chasing now?
Oh, now they're cheap.
A Tesla?
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot less than that. I mean, you're talking about like low teens for a really nice one.
no, I'm talking, George, about what are the kids
Enthusiasts.
chasing now? Not the.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, I can't speak for all kids, but my kids aren't chasing anything because they're not gearheads. They could care less. I mean,
Yeah.
when we're at an age, and I'm older than you guys are, but not by a ton. Our car between 16 and 20, our car was our lifeline. I mean, that's how we get. That's how we.
Freedom.
Yeah, that's how we interacted with our friends. That's what we did. And the kids of these later generations, that's just not the reality anymore. Now they have cell phones and they have FaceTime and they have this and they have that and they have chats and so they can connect to their friends 24/7 and not have to get in a car and go anywhere.
Mhm.
And that's just not the way I was raised. I mean, my car was everything to me.
Yep, agreed.
And so we aspire and we lusted after the one to be the coolest one around, just the way it was. I've said this on this podcast 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 times again. If I need to go out and buy a one car, do it all, it's either going to be a GTI or if I can stretch the dollar, it's going to be a Golf R. But it's the car that really does speak to me and it does everything and does them well. But if I had to go out and buy, if you ask me today, you got to go out tomorrow, you got to buy a sports car, dedicated sports car, brand new. What are you buying? Miata all day long.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Miata all day. It's the Corvette's not bad, but for me, bang for buck, and we all know Miata's not fast, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. Where else are you going to go buy a brand new car, factory warranty, everything for like $35,000?
I was going to ask you what this came in.
Yeah, I mean they've gone up. So some of them, if you can get them pre-tariff that are still on the lot, they're 35. Post-tariff, they've gone up to about 38 to 40. If you would really get it fully loaded out.
I haven't driven a new Miata, but like I'd rather have a new GTI or a GTI.
Yeah, the GTIs are great. I have driven the new Miata, and I'm not gonna lie, they're just as quick as well, they're faster than my FRS was because with the new power bump at 180 horsepower, they're 181 horsepower. They're great. And for me personally, I dig the idea of the RF with the Targa, but I'm not a fan of the body style when the Targa's up. For me personally, I'd rather just have the Roadster, soft top, less weight. It's perfect. You can go out and buy a new Mustang or like a Mustang GT or just a Stingray, and you're going to be in 60, 70 grand.
When's the last time you guys have driven? Have you guys driven Mustangs?
Yeah, I have. It's been a hot. So I haven't driven the newest generation, but the prior generation we've driven. Yeah,
that was the one I drove, and I drove it right, and I was actually considering one.
Mm-hmm.
And right, like, and I get in there, right, and I'm like, okay, like, interior's okay, right, kind of retro style, right, like, but it felt so big.
It's very big.
I couldn't like I was like kind of like caught off guard by how big it felt. Right, visibility over the hood was bad.
Yep.
Right, the sound was awesome. Right, like you had the manual, you had the sound, that was cool. Like I enjoyed all of that. But the feel of the size and the visibility over the hood were two things that caught me by surprise.
Yeah, it's a very large car, and it just keeps getting bigger. But the same thing about the 911. I mean, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, and that's due to a number of things, but they just keep getting larger. But
it sounds like they'll be paring down though. Like I've listened to a few interviews where they've acknowledged that, and they'll be keeping that in check and maybe even pulling back a little bit.
As long as crash standards and everything lets them. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think they're making them big because they want to make them big. I think it's just all the bloatware that we have to put in to the cars to make them,
Well, I think part of it also, was crash standards, right? And I think a lot of that's weight. But I think like front track, like width, right? They could get more performance, right, by having a wider track. So I think it was a combination.
it's staggering. You know, we see our cars out of context. We see our cars in our garages or you know, that we look at every day, and we don't really notice anything. And then when you see a 996 or a 997 parked next to a 991 or a 992, the size difference is absolutely staggering.
So I have a story about that. I was dating, so my now wife, right? But back when we dated, she had a Ford Focus, right? You think of like, oh, that's a tiny car, right? We met because I was like, I don't know, I forget where, but like we couldn't drive together to movies, right? And make it by the movie time. So we met there and we drove separately. I get there, I have my 996, parked next to her Focus, and my 996 looked tiny next to a Ford Focus.
No doubt.
And I was really just like, whoa, really?
Dude,
Like,
in our garage, Stacy's Sonata towers over my 911. I mean, by feet.
close.
Yeah,
And I'm like, that's a Ford Focus. That's a compact car.
Yeah.
You know, you say that, and I actually had a little bit of that feeling today driving the Panamera, which to me is a large car. Like, and we talked about it, it's 10 inches longer than the Cayenne. But I was parked next to like a Ford Escape.
Yeah.
And it looks small next to a Ford Escape. And the thing inside to me is massive.
An
right?
Escape
Like,
or Explorer?
I think it was an Escape.
Well, because again, everything keeps getting bigger. So the current Ford Escape. So me and Stacy in the mid 2000s, I guess 2007 ish or whatever, had a Ford Explorer, brand new. It was the boxy one, you know, and loved that. It was black, beautiful, right? But the current Escape is the size of what our Explorer was when the kids were little. I mean, everything just keeps getting bigger. The current Ranger is the size of the F-150 that I used to drive when I was younger. My dad's F-150, so everything just keeps getting bigger.
I mean, even the
Maverick. About the Escape, I think of this joke. I don't know who it came from, right? So, but it came from a comedian, and they said something about the new Bronco Sport is just a Ford Escape with an OtterBox.
100%.
Yes,
they're not wrong, man. I love it.
Every time I see one of those,
it's freaking awesome. That's great. That's great. Man, we're an hour and 2 minutes in. I guess.
Another topic.
Well, so we're talking about cars. We're talking about 911s. There was a thing thrown up about the mystery announcement Porsche's making next week, and it was just a silhouette. And so we were kind of guessing what we thought it might be. And, you know, I don't know if Shark's Works post is correct or not. Yeah, I can probably find an image. Let's do this.
It sure does look two-door. I don't know.
I saw also like it was one of the social media pages. It like circled two things. One was the top, and it showed, and one was the door handles, pointing out that it has door handles.
All right, I can't see door handle on this one, but
all right. So here we go. So here's the image here. Why is it not sharing?
Come on, Boomer.
No, it shows that it's sharing. Is it not sharing?
That's my face, really big.
Okay. Well, here we go. Maybe it's taking time, dude. I got to get a new Mac. This thing is lagging big time. Yeah, it's not sharing.
Jesus,
it says it's sharing, but it's not.
Send me the link. Jesus.
Let me stop
Christ.
sharing.
What is this? Boomer radio?
Yeah.
No respect around here.
I gotta get a new Mac, dude. This thing is. I'm gonna have to get a Mac Mini or something because my MacBook Pro is starting to slow down. Of course, it is a 2017 model. So.
And then, like a day after, like Porsche said that, they said that there's some social media, right? Some spy photos of a convertible GT3. They called it like a GT3 Cab Sport or something like that, right? In the spy photo, which I said, you know, why wouldn't they call that a speedster? Okay. But right, it doesn't have the speedster humps.
Yeah. No, and there's no spoiler on the back, so. I mean, I guess it could. You know, there's a rumor out there that this could be a GT3 cab.
Does the 991 Speedster have a spoiler?
I don't know.
A spoiler, right?
I don't think any Speedsters have a spoiler.
Right.
Yeah.
Does the spy photo have a spoiler?
You mean this blanket photo we're looking at?
The photo that Sharkworks put up did not have a spoiler on it.
The one that James texted us.
Yeah, that was the Sharkworks thing. No, it did not have a spoiler. It looked like a GT3 touring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't don't know why. I don't know why we're getting so up in arms about, or like so inquisitive about this. Porsche puts out. I almost said my own company name. Porsche puts out like these new fucking variants all the fucking time. Charges an arm and a leg for them, and sells 50 of them. I don't. I see this honestly. I hope it doesn't turn into, as we were saying on the chat, like the BMW M version stuff, which I don't see Porsche doing that. But these things, anything with 911 or some variant of GT3 or whatever, ST, RT, put a couple letters or numbers behind it, and it's going to sell like fucking hotcakes. So, I don't know what this is. I'm sure it'll be cool. I'm sure I want one already. I don't even need to see it. I like it, but like, it's not going to be any different.
No, I mean, if I was trying to
the 992 Speedster, right? The 991 Speedster sold for about $500K back in 2019, and they sold 1,948 units of it.
Yeah, that's a shitload.
Yeah,
500K, and they sold how many?
In 2019, sold 1,948 units of it.
Oh, so they made a killing. Listen, Porsche needs some cash. Maybe that's
what
they're doing,
right?
Well,
yeah,
I think
I'm not gonna lie, right?
No, I got a Speedster. I mean, it just everyone's like, why would you put a GT3 motor and a cabriolet?
Because it'd be fucking awesome. It would sound delicious.
I like cabriolets. I don't have a problem with convertibles.
No, they'll do it because they'll fucking sell it. I mean, that's why they'll do it. But I don't know, I don't know why anybody in particular is super excited to see. Oh, did Matt kill himself? I think he did. I don't know why anybody's so so interested in a new cab version of kind of the same car.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out in 6 days, right?
That's right.
I can't afford it anyway, so it's not going to change my life.
Exactly. I'll afford it when I'm 237, and
hopefully
I'll have to keep working until then. Yeah. I think the last thing I wanted to mention, George, was the Colorado speed cameras. I think this is complete bullshit. As anyone that knows me, let me see if I can pull it up here, would attest to. But this is basically speed cameras that are using probably some data of flock cameras doing what are those, license plate recognition, and basically timing you between 2 points. And if your average speed is above the speed limit, you get an automatic ticket. Now, they've tried to do these sort of speed camera stuff in a lot of jurisdictions, and many times these can be argued because you cannot, what do they say, you cannot confront your accuser, all these sort of things. So a lot of these tickets, quote unquote, are not point tickets, as in they don't go against your license. It's just a fine. But this one looks to be the same. But still, I think it's an invasion of privacy. I think it's cheating the system, and I don't like it.
Are there other states that have this, that have had them around for a while?
I know that DC at one point had areas like this. I do on certain bridges and stuff. I do not know any place in DC now that has them. They just have regular speed cameras that show up in the mail, but they're not using distance. They're just using like radar to catch you at a certain point. So, but wait. I think those are bullshit too.
Yeah.
And we know that Waze is, I think that's Google owned now, right? I think so.
Yeah, Google owns it.
But they'll fucking mark them, and everybody will know that between point A and point B, you need to slow down. It just gives
you a warning so many feet ahead of that, right? That speed camera. It's just marked.
Exactly.
So it'll have the same effect that a speed camera does now, or a hidden cop does now. Everyone slams on their brakes, causes fucking problems, that accordion back down the road, and then as soon as they're past it, they floor it again. Like,
When if they're known speed cameras in the like right two spots, then yeah, everyone it becomes very public and very well known, and you just
But it to me, this is a waste of money up front because these systems aren't cheap. You know that they're probably produced by a private company that is charging the government an assload of money that they've sold the local government on, and it's just like a money laundering scheme as far as I'm concerned.
No doubt.
But I hate
I
the
wouldn't call
government.
it money laundering, but maybe like
Government money laundering.
It is.
It's a cash grab.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. It's a cash grab.
I'll take cash grab. I'll
Yeah,
go with that one.
exactly.
I can. Yeah, that's what it is.
The interesting thing though is you know, and I've always been curious. So here in Florida, we have a lot of the red light cameras, and if you get busted running a red light and you get pulled over by a cop,
that's a very different subject, Matt.
What's that? Cameras?
The red light district?
Oh yeah,
it's very different.
Not red light district, red light cameras. But no. So here, if you get a red light camera in the mail, it's like $150 fine, but there's no points.
It's called a Playboy.
Right,
Man.
it's no points. My question is, yeah, exactly. My question is, are these going to give you points if you get?
No, in the article it says the Colorado Department of Transportation installed the cameras along the construction zone. The fine is $75 and 0 points.
Right. So that's why it's just a straight cash grab.
So it's just a fine.
If it's in a construction zone, right? Then you can claim, hey, right, to enforce safety. I can get behind that.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, we're only going to put these in construction zone areas for safety enforcement, peace.
Yep.
Yeah, I still that to me that argument doesn't hold water. As a responsible driver, when there's pedestrians or construction workers around, you should know that you need to slow down. Just having, the effect is the same, in my opinion, as that it would be of putting it in a non-construction zone, because they're not going to take the whole construction zone. Because they can't, right? Because I'm sure there's exits and whatever. So they're going to condense it down to a small area. So it's no different than putting out one of those fake speed cameras.
True.
Well, you have it in like the first X number of feet of the construction zone, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not for governance. I'm not for monitoring.
It seems that you're a fucking pinko, George.
but I am for safety. So if they are having significant safety issues, then okay, let's figure out a safety problem. But if it's a pure cash grab and you're monitoring, like it's for monitoring and it's for cash, then I'm not for it.
George, I know this isn't a political podcast, but we could make it that way if you want to. But in the name of safety, you can claim anything. And you can say, in the name of safety, we no longer allow French fries. I mean, it's where do you draw the line? And I think that this is most likely a cash grab for a cash-strapped municipality. And it's not going to actually make anything safer for the reasons we've both laid out. And that's why I think it's just a cash grab.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Bullshit.
All righty. Well,
that we can agree
on that bombshell, as Jeremy Clarkson would say, that's it. We're gonna call it a night before my computer crashes again. Sorry about that, guys. It just straight up just froze and then crashed out. So it's
all that porn.
No, it's not the porn. I wish it was. That's more fun. But for those listening, thank you very much. Head over to the Instagram, Whiskey Watches and Wheels. Check it out. Website, whiskeywatchesandwheels.com. Send us an email. Send us a message. Just say hello. And other than that, you guys got anything else?
Yeah, just to add on to that. I mean, I think it'd be fun, right? I haven't really talked to the group, but it'd be fun if we start to get in the comment section, just question.
Yep.
Right. And then we just have a small Q&A, right?
I'd love it.
As part of as a segment, right? In some of these podcasts. So throw out questions, throw out topic ideas, and let's get some engagement.
I love it.
Love it.
All right, fellas. Well, we will see you guys on the flip flop. Catch you guys later. Peace out.
See you guys.
Bye.